Uh-oh. Black Power, I'm in the house, y'all. Yeah. Black Power is the General Sarah Suit Seti, and I'm black at y'all ass again with this real fucking talk. Black Power, I'm in the house, y'all. I know y'all been waiting on me. God damn it, but that y'all already know party don't start till I get there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna never hold you up. I had to do extra research. Now that's a real motherfucker. When nigga had to put niggas on hold because he doing extra research, that just lets you know. Nigga be trying to, man, I be throwing the ball high this year. For real. Throwing the ball high. This been a video I've been wanting to do, you know what I'm saying? But I figured, you know what I'm saying, I had to go and, get, because it's a very touchy topic because everybody got their own special temples and, you know what I'm saying? But just, when you line it up, baby, and you show the greatness of Africa, it really ain't no motherfucking debate. It ain't. It ain't no motherfucking debate. No other continent got so many temples and mass monuments in the BC era. You know what I'm saying? In the BC era. I don't even know why they playing with y'all out there. See, niggas don't do their research. That's why. They would never bring that shit to me. Nigga, what? Greece. Nigga, you could put all other civilizations together and they still ain't coming close. I started to name this shit the Nile Valley versus everybody. It really, the monuments is all over Africa. Had to show much love because we got some Jews, family. We got some Jews. And the babies and everybody else need to know about so we can shut their mouth up. Oh, baby, that's some good tea right there. Hot, good tea. Niggas was like, damn, said he was coming in at 7. I didn't have it all together, y'all. And, I don't want half-ass do nothing. And I'm still one off. I'm at 24. And I'm gonna put the other one in as we wrap. You know what I'm saying? This right here is, number one. If you go back to the 7 ancient wonders of the ancient world, the only one you ain't got to wonder about is the pyramid. But see, that's deceiving just to say the pyramid. Matter of fact, let me get my shit lined up. Because Africa got so many, they try to slight Egypt just by saying the pyramid. Man, get the fuck out of here. Let me get my shit lined up in here, y'all. Let some family come in, because they ain't doing nothing. They ain't doing nothing. It's Sunday. You ain't doing nothing. You might as well go and get your mind elevated. Might as well go and get your mind elevated. Laying up in there watching them goddamn reality show. Ain't no reality in that shit. There's unrealistic reality show. Uh-oh, Django in the house. That's right. Yeah, so, and the crazy shit about it, and I tried to tell motherfucker that long time ago, and Walter Williams hit on it a lot when he cut into the Greeks. You know what I'm saying? When he disputed a lot of authors, a lot of scholars, he disputed them that the Greeks had never been into Egypt and received any kind of learning. You understand what I'm saying? Because number one, they was illiterate. Number two, the Africans never allowed foreigners into the mystery system. It's only a mystery to those who are on the outside of the educational system. But to the family on the inside is not a mystery. You know what I'm saying? And so You know, they never produced no type of literature, you know, from mass production of literature. That's institution. Not just one little scroll a nigga can make down in the basement and shit. Where, you know, we talking about mass production of literature. So when you go to these so-called 7 wonders of the ancient world, and I'm gonna bring it up, nobody ever saw them stand. That's the crazy shit about it. And that's how the fuck they got away. And this is how they getting away with a lot of shit. You understand what I'm saying? When you talking about, you know, when you talking about the Mayans and, you know, and all the Aztecs, man, them motherfuckers is an AD people. You understand? It was the Olmecs that had the BC era of the, you know, what you talking about, ancient civilizations in the Americas, the so-called Americas. It was the Olmecs. But when you talking about the Aztecs, the Mayans, and all them motherfuckers is AD, okay? AD. And then, you know, even India. I got a hell of a series coming up. You know what I'm saying? Egypt versus everybody. This is going to be battle of the civilizations. We're going to square off. It's going to be a battle royal. And we're going to see who come out on top. This is just the warm up right here. You know what I'm saying? Because I looked at, you know, a lot of the monuments that they got on this new 7 wonders of the world. And listen here, you literally can't even put Egypt in it because that's just an automatic defeat for the simple fact that these monuments is damn near 6,000 years old. You understand what I'm saying? You know, it just ain't really even it ain't even no matchup. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sick of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they know goddamn well if these monuments was on their own continent, goddamn, you know, it'd be holidays to the goddamn pyramid. You understand? They'll have so many guys, but because they in Africa, they don't get as much, you know, they don't get much showcasing. You understand what I'm saying? And so today, you know, but I'm gonna be on their ass. I'm gonna make sure that, you know, many of these monuments, I'm gonna be teaching on for, you know, years and years to come. You know what I'm saying? Because these is our jewels. And really, I'm fighting, and even as I get to the end, you know, you can easily go over 25. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. And I'm not trying to put in no light, even if it's, even if it is African. I'm not trying to throw in no lightweight monuments. You know what I'm saying? Everything on the list is very monumental, very, you know, shocking to the mind. You know what I'm saying? That our people could construct, these types of monuments, and not just the monument itself, the civilization that, constructed the monument. And at that time, the greatness of that civilization itself. So though I'm highlighting the temples today, I'll be highlighting the civilizations in various upcoming videos. You know what I'm saying? To spread it out, because everybody always talking about SETI don't go in them West Africa. Nigga, you're lying. You're lying. You're lying. You're lying. And I'm going to show your ass to be a lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to show you to be a lie. I go north, south, east, west. God damn it, I go around the whole map. I go around the whole continent. God damn it, I don't leave nothing out. So if you think I'm going to show your ass before this year is out, you're going to say, God damn, SETI stay in West Africa, nigga. That's right. You understand what I'm saying? That's another jewel in the crown of Africa. Some of this shit they got on this new 7 of the nigga, you can throw that shit away. That shit ain't even in competition. But if you let another nigga count your pockets, you gonna always come up short. And so we gotta count our own goddamn pockets today. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm gonna tell you up front, they're not in order, in any particular order, because that's just gonna be too goddamn hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe the top, maybe the top 2 or 3 you might be able to get, the pyramid of Khufu, that's just gonna be hard to beat. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna be hard to beat, the pyramid of Khufu. And then, you got the temple of Abu Simbel, which I believe, as far as aesthetics, just the overwhelming view is probably the greatest temple, even though Karnak is the biggest temple. You know what I'm saying? Hands down. It's just, it's just monstrosity. It's just a monstrosity, and I'm not saying it, but it's just so huge that it really, ain't no comparison in the side. But the beauty and the aesthetic of Abu Simbel is just shocking to the mind. You know what I'm saying? It's just shocking to the mind. And so, and what's really just so, was so mind-boggling is that these temples is in the BC. And when we go up, when we get to going up these civilizations, when we get to battling it, and this is gonna be a battle royal, and I'm gonna try to do my best to gather all the shit I can from the other civilization. I ain't gonna try to go light because I know they're gonna try to come in, bitch. I'm gonna get the best that you got. I'm gonna try to go in. I'm gonna try to, I'm gonna be balanced. I'm gonna be in my eye. You feel me? I'm gonna go on both sides, and but I'm telling you, it's not looking good, and I really can't wait to get to India. You understand what I'm saying? Because somehow somebody done taught them motherfuckers wrong. They actually think they more ancient than Africa. All these motherfuckers thinking I'm nigga, and I might have to put 2 of them on one team. You know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be no, one against, I'm gonna have to put 2 I'm gonna have to put Greece and Rome on one team. Because if I do it, if I do it nation for nation, it's gonna be an onslaught because it ain't no comparison. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna have to put Greece and Rome on one. You know what I'm saying? I might have to put India and the Mayans on one. It ain't no motherfucking competition. Really, you could put all 4 of them motherfuckers together. And but it's time to lay the facts and not just monuments. We're gonna look at ancient scrolls, ancient manuscripts. We ain't just gonna look at monuments, we're gonna look at manuscripts, and we're gonna look at the mightiest of kings and queens and see who had the mightiest kings and queens. Ain't no motherfucking comparison. Ain't none. It ain't none. You know what I'm saying? And we need to have these battles. You know what I'm saying? When I lay it out on India, I'm not gonna put in the Naga Kush shots. I'm not gonna disrespect because that's our people. But them temples that I know strictly, if they have something, we gonna lay that shit out. We're gonna lay that shit out. And the ones they think, I'm gonna show that them is Kushite temples. And they ain't had shit to do with it. And they borrowed from the Nile Valley when they built them, because a lot of them pyramids over there, they got from the Nile Valley. Get the fuck out of here. Okay? I can show you the diagrams of the temples and everything and show you that the layout of the temples is all the same. The Egyptian temple is the mother temple of all temples on the planet. The sacred oblong or the sacred rectangle, goddamn it, and from the beginning of the temple to the Holy of Holies, every damn temple blueprint today, whether that motherfucker in Christianity, whether that motherfucker in Islam, whether it's in Hindu, whether that motherfucker in China, Japan, goddamn it, whether it's over here in the Americas, I guarantee you, when you see the motherfucking layout, it's the same as the Nile Valley has. That's another. See, they don't want me to show you all the similarities. See, it ain't no coincidence because it's too profound to be a fucking coincidence. It's too profound. It ain't nothing simple. No simplistic shit we talking about. It's a well thought out, complex idea, and nobody just gonna coincidentally come into this shit. You understand what I'm saying? They sat in the schools of the master teachers, and their asses got taught. And then they didn't went off and forgot the masters, but the masters is back today. Now let me get this bullshit article up, because I seen this shit yesterday on the on this fake ass seven wonders of the world. Some of that shit shouldn't even be allowed to be on there. I mean, I had to knock me a nigga off of there already. Y'all didn't see that one, but I saw it. God damn it, I'm getting niggas up off of here. All right, where's these seven wonders of the world? I just had this shit up there. Oh, here you go. And then once I show you this now, we're gonna get off into the African wonders. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna tell you, boy, the shit they got on there, man. You know, some they some new wonders of the white man world, but you ain't gonna bring them motherfuckers into Africa, because they wouldn't even get a runners up. They wouldn't even be a motherfucking runner up. Let me get it down here. What other part of it go? Hold on. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I don't like this website. This motherfucker just fuck this one. This website just in and out. I don't want no shit like that. I want some shit that's gonna stay still. You know what I'm saying? We about to get into it, family. We about to get into it. Y'all gonna dig this too. You can always come back, and show the babies and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And you could go and take this template and you could Google it in if you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these temples and these pyramids that's worthy, guaranteed worthy to be on the list. Okay? Some new wonders of the world. Okay, here you go. This is probably a better list. I don't need no shit. That other one, that motherfucker moving and shit. I want to see the pictures. God damn. They ain't gonna show the pictures. No, you need to see the pictures. They got the list. Fuck the list. Let me see the damn pictures. I'm coming, y'all. I'm coming. Okay, they got them right here. Okay. Let me share the page so we can look at the new wonders of the world. And people been wondering how the fuck they got on the list. Now, as you can see to the right, okay, no, I want to see them individually. I don't want to, no motherfucker. I want to see these motherfuckers individually. You know what I'm saying? Okay. They gave Egypt jumped out the running because they say we ain't no motherfucker putting the pyramid up there. And that's right. Ain't no motherfucker. We ain't got to compete against nobody. It wouldn't even be fair. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't put this temple of Petra, you see right there on the list. Okay, I'll blow it up so you can see it better. Now, listen here. Man, listen here. This motherfucking temple right here, You understand? I could put a little baby pyramid on that. You understand what I'm saying? I could put a little baby pyramid on that. That shit ain't got nothing coming. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got nothing coming with none of the damn temples in Egypt. In even in Lalibela, Ethiopia. Ain't got nothing coming. You see what I'm saying? But this what they got on the new list. Okay, you seen this shit probably in Indiana Jones and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's worth passing by. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's worth passing by going somewhere, but it ain't nothing worth no nigga paying no hell of a money to get no ticket to go over here and see this shit. It ain't on that level. So this is one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Okay? Now, that ain't, I don't even know if that's BC. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know when is it? 312 BC. Okay? Now they got the Great Wall of China at 700 BC. Let's see that. I'm not gonna give you ain't in no competition or nothing in Africa at all. You know what I'm saying? You done built the wall, but goddamn, you know, all right, you built the wall. It took a lot of motherfuckers to build that motherfucker. But you know, for real, I mean, long as I can get on one end of that motherfucker, I'm not about to walk from one end to the next. So yeah, okay. You got a nice little wall there. Okay. Y'all niggas can build walls and shit. You understand what I'm saying? But again, after you look at this, I'll blow this motherfucker up. Look at it. Look at it. Okay, yeah, they built around that motherfucker now. They done built around that motherfucker. It took a lot of motherfuckers to build that motherfucker too. You know what I'm saying? I give them a little credit for that. I give them a little credit for that now. I give them a little credit for the Great Wall of China at 700 BC. Shit, Egypt over. The 25th dynasty was over. Well, no, it wasn't. It was close to being over with. You know, it was close to being damn near over with. Because Egypt last native ruler was something like in 600 BC. You see what I'm saying? Somewhere up in there. And then the so-called Persians came in and conquered Egypt. Okay? But you know what I'm saying? You talking about these motherfuckers come after the fall of Egypt. All these motherfuckers on here, okay? Look at this. Now I'm gonna just put the pyramid up there. This is not my slide. I'm gonna show you my slides in a minute. Ain't no motherfucking nothing on this planet can fuck with that. Let's be real about it. I don't know, nothing on this planet can fuck with this. You know what I'm saying? This is the greatest edifice that ever been constructed on this planet. You see what I'm saying? And that motherfucker make this shit. Why would you? That's why Egypt say we're not gonna even put ourselves in the running, because ain't no way you compare this right here to no motherfucking pyramid. The pyramid. Matter of fact, you can't compare it to none of the goddamn pyramids in Egypt, even the ones that goddamn fell down. You can't compare it to. You see what I'm saying? And so let's go down here now. This piece of shit. How old is this? 880. This is in the Common Era. The Colosseum is in the Common Era. 80. And look at this shit. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have to prop this motherfucker up. You understand what I'm saying? The bricks didn't fell up off of this motherfucker. You understand what I'm saying? It's a shell. It's a shell to be, to tell the truth. How in the fuck is the pyramid damn near at 3? And that's just on the white man scale. It could be far older than that, and probably is far older than that. It's 7,000 BC instead of with them trying to tell you it's 2,700 BC. Okay, how the hell you gonna count and you ain't even came on the scene yet? So you ain't got your white man can't count a black man numbers. because you didn't come into after the fact. You see what I'm saying? So you're looking at the Colosseum at 80 of the Common Era, okay? Then you come down here and we're looking at Machu Picchu. I give Machu Picchu a couple of props. You understand what I'm saying? But on the for real, you ain't even in the run. You can't take this shit to Africa. If you take this shit to Egypt, you'll never get, nobody gonna come see this. Nobody gonna come see, compared to, because Egypt got a lot of monuments that just don't get saw. No, nigga, it's thousands and thousands of monuments in Egypt. Okay, you only gonna have time to see, and it's so many of the megalithic ones. You ain't gonna have time to look at the smaller shit. So this right here most definitely would not be on the list. It would not be on the list. Okay, and I see again why Egypt, even though them ain't our peoples over there, they got enough sense to know that none of this other shit is in the run. Okay. Let me come on down. All of this is in the Common Era. Okay, you got the Taj Mahal. It's a beautiful building. Okay, it's a beautiful building, you know, but it ain't gonna compete with nothing in Egypt just on the strength of that the monuments in Africa is in the BC era and they still standing. You understand what I'm saying? And they would be in better condition if the Arabs and the Europeans had not went over there and destroyed a lot of it. You understand? Took the casings off of them and everything to build other buildings or the conquerors, whether it was mosques, whether it was churches, whatever it was. They went over there and destroyed a lot of it, so they would be in better condition than even what you see them right now. Okay, but I give the Taj Mahal a little credit. That's about the only one y'all gonna get some credit from. But look where we talking about 1643 of the Common Era. Okay, then you got right there. You got Chichen Itza. Now the crazy thing is about Chichen Itza, that motherfucker like them ziggurats over there in Mesopotamia, because they had to reconstruct that motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? See, they don't want to show you it, but you know, like they found it. You understand what I'm saying? Man, the bricks had fell down on it. You understand what I'm saying? Grass was growing all up through the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You know it's a mound up under the motherfucker. You can see the mound up under it. It's not a self-standing pyramid. You understand? How the fuck? And you looking at this, and you know, and this is the best that they had. And I don't see how Chichen Itza got on there and Teotihuacan didn't get on there. The biggest ones. I don't see how this one got on there and that one didn't get on there. You know what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why is because they know they didn't build Teotihuacan. They know the Africans built that one, so they didn't want to put that one on. You talking about 60 of the Common Era, and they had to rebuild that motherfucker. And here go the original. This ain't have to be touched. And it's damn near 6,000 years old, still standing. They had to be reconstructed. You can't reconstruct it because the blocks is so damn heavy. You don't even possess the technology to reconstruct it. Even if it did, it just fall the hell down. It'd be a wrap. You understand what I'm saying? But here you got the Pyramid of Khufu. You know what I'm saying? They got it at 2560, but more likely it's 5000 BC at the minimum. They just don't want us, you know, they don't want to show the Nile Valley in the light of how more ancient civilization is to the rest of the world. It ain't no comparison. So ain't no way you gonna compare this shit right here, my family, to this right here. That ain't even no comparison. So let me go on down here. Look at this. Rio Deer is on Christ the Redeemer. So they didn't put this statue on there. Ain't this a bitch? Look at this piece of shit. You understand what I'm saying? How the hell is this the wonder of the world? You know what I'm saying? How is this a wonder of the world? You know, I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? The motherfucker, this shit look like the Statue of Liberty taller than this. You could have put the Statue of Liberty on there. It was a reason they put that Jesus on there. That shit just religious. That shit just religious. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep that Jesus in your mind. So they put that shit on there. You understand what I'm saying? But for real, this is not no 7 wonders in no goddamn world. I'm going to keep that up. And when I start going down the great African wonders of the world, you're going to automatically know not one of them can compete. Not one of them. Okay? So let me go on over here to my list. Going on over here to my list. Now, let me start off with my number one. Okay? Automatically, you know this got to be, and that don't mean it's number one. You know what I'm saying? But I don't care what number it's in. This is the oldest stone structure on the planet. The first stone structure on the planet. You understand? In human history, the step pyramid of Saqqara, it was built by the Grand Master Architect Imhotep for the Sultan Zoja. Now check this out. This in the old kingdom. You understand what I'm saying? This is how you know that Egypt is more ancient than the Europeans want to give Egypt, because ain't no way you gonna start off in your old kingdom. Your early, you talking about the third dynasty, okay? You're not talking about the later dynasty. You talking about the third dynasty. And they already building monuments to the sky. You understand? You don't develop that kind of knowledge because nobody, to show you how advanced the knowledge is, nobody else has been able to master it. Nobody else in the ancient world was able to conceive something on that level. You understand? And can't conceive it into the damn modern era, into the modern skyscraper. And yet and still, you know, this pyramid, they got dated at 2700 BC. Okay? So you talking about almost 5,000 years old according to the white man. And we don't give his dating no respect. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're not counting my shit, and you know damn well you wasn't even on the planet when we built it. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know when it was constructed. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and it's still standing. This is what's killing the motherfucker. It's still standing. You see what I'm saying? So, of course, since it is the first, and I dare you to come back 5,000 years from now and see how many of them goddamn, not one of them skyscrapers you see standing today, they ain't gonna even last, goddamn it, 500 years, less known 5,000 years. They ain't gonna even last 500 years, less known 5,000. They gonna have to tear that motherfucker down, okay? Long before that, if this world is still standing. And you see right there, you know, the great god Ptah, and you know, the pyramid age, and I'm gonna get on that, was during the worship of the great god Ptah. You see what I'm saying? So though we talk about Amen, we need to talk about Ptah, because the greatest monuments in all of human history was constructed under the worship of Ptah. Okay? So number two, the pyramid of Meidum. Okay, you talking about 2,600, you know, not that long after you know, the pyramid of Saqqara. You see? And this was started by Huni, and you know, Seneferu tried to pick up on And so what you're seeing right here, if you're looking at this one, this is a step pyramid. You see what I'm saying? And here they trying to seal in the steps. They trying to develop to a true pyramid. They ain't, you know, you ain't gonna do this shit without already having the ability to do it. Okay? They already got, but they bringing in the manpower. They bringing in the great minds, you know. This is in Egypt. And Egypt is the new colony. You know what I'm saying? Egypt is the new colony. You know, further up the river is really the heart of the empire at this time. So Egypt is the new colony. They coming in because, you know, there's disruption going on. You see what I'm saying? There's foreigners trying to come in on the land. And so the Ethiopians know at this time, it's time to come further down the river. It's time to put, you know, more manpower down at the Delta region of the Nile River and man that, you know, even going into what you call, you know, Palestine or Canaan or whatever you choose to call it. You understand what I'm saying? Even moving into that region. You see what I'm saying? And so you see right here with the pyramid of Meidum, the development, the push to develop the true pyramid. You see what I'm saying? This pyramid is still solid, even though it didn't, you know, it collapsed some. The outer part of it collapsed is what happened. And so they took the bricks and blocks and whatever and built something else, mosque or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? That's what they did. But, you know, they hadn't perfected it yet. They hadn't perfected, but you can see from this one to this one, they trying to move up. And then you get to the bent pyramid. See, this is how Dr. Ben talked. You can see the flaws, you know? You can see the flaws in how they develop. You can see the whole developmental process of the true pyramid in Africa. Nobody brought it in because you can see as they coming down the river, the pyramids is getting larger and larger and larger. All of the mistakes is in the south. And then when they get down to Egypt, they've reached completion. They've developed and they moved past the mistakes. So here you got the bent pyramid. So you can see between the pyramid of Meidum and the pyramid of the bent pyramid of Seneferu. You know what I'm saying? It was some collapse in the pyramid where they had to, you know, they couldn't take it to the complete, dimensions that they had first laid out. You know, it started to collapse, and so they had to kind of cut it and bring it to it's not a true point. It's bent. You know what I'm saying? If they would have kept going up, the whole goddamn pyramid would have collapsed. So they had to cut it off. They had too much weight. And listen, if they would have brought this pyramid to a point, I think it would have been the biggest pyramid ever. It's more blocks on this damn pyramid than even, on the only pyramid that has as much volume as this pyramid is the pyramid of Khufu. You see what I'm saying? That just lets you know this is a megalithic structure right here. It's a lot of stone on this pyramid. If you just take the top part of it, you know what I'm saying? It's larger than some of the big pyramids that's standing. So it's like two pyramids damn near in one. You see what I'm saying? So this is the bent pyramid, and I got that at number 3. You know what I'm saying? Now, number 4. This is the red pyramid of the Sultan Sneferu. Okay, now who is Sneferu? Sneferu is Khufu's father. Now, if y'all want to know who Khufu, Khafra, Menkaure, that's the pyramids at Giza. Those are the most profound pyramids. They show them all the time, the 3 pyramids side by side. Well, this is Khufu's father, and he was the first one to complete the world's first true pyramid, the red pyramid. Okay, this is in 26. We talking about 20. Look at all these megalithic structures. This shit is like at 3000 BC. And then you go to Mesopotamia, they got some mud mounds. You got to understand the Americas ain't even on the scene yet. Even the Olmec didn't come to like 1200 BC. So this shit right is it. This is almost, 1500 years before the damn Olmecs come on the scene. You understand what I'm saying? And they ain't, them is our family, but they ain't even in comparison. So this is a very beautiful pyramid. This is a very beautiful pyramid. You know what I'm saying? And I've been inside of this pyramid. You see what I'm saying? I've been inside of this pyramid. And this is where you see that, what's that vault? The cobalt. What that vault? It's an arch, the cobalt arch. Okay? And that's the arch I was showing you is the one they're using over here in the Americas. You see what I'm saying? So, architecture is not a type of a science you just gonna stumble into. You see what I'm saying? Either you went to architectural school to know how to do that, or you don't know how to do it. It's just that simple. So it's not hard to see that the Olmecs sat down in the architectural school because they was Africans. And not just, you had Africans coming from the west coast of Africa, but it's clear that the Olmecs came from the Nile Valley, okay? They came from the Nile Valley. Now you get into the three pyramids of Giza. Now this 5, 6, and 7. And I can show you right there, we already in 5, 6, and 7. And ain't nothing on any of them goddamn is gonna compare to any of this right here at all. Just on the strength of you talking about almost 3000 BC, you talking about all these structures alone is 5,000 years old. So when you hear these people, no other continent possessed so many wonders in the BC era. And I'm not just talking about 1000 or 2, we're talking about 3000 BC. You understand what I'm saying? And it's what's so astounding that most of these megalithic structures were constructed in the earliest periods of Egypt. And you know damn well it took, hundreds of thousands of years to develop the knowledge. So you can't just start at 3000 BC. You know what I'm saying? They have been developing the knowledge 250 to a half a million years, 250,000 to a half a million years, 500,000 years of development right here. And they still stand. So this is the Pyramid of Khufu, 40 stories. Okay? 40 stories. Shit, you didn't get a goddamn 40-story building in America until the 1900s. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't. The European was not able to match the height of the pyramid until like the Eiffel Tower, but it's still not massive. Like so yeah, you reach the height, but that motherfucker will not be here no 5,000 motherfucking years from now. That bitch gonna rust and that bitch gonna fall. That's just the facts. So this is the pyramid, and you talking about one block on average is like 10 tons. And then the heaviest blocks on the pyramid is at the top. That's crazy. And some of them is like 100 tons a piece. So you know what I'm saying? How the hell did they get 100-ton blocks? Damn near 30, 35, you're talking about at least 30 stories up. You got 100-ton blocks. You understand what I'm saying? And I seen documentaries where the Japanese went to Egypt and they was over there and they had the world's strongest crane in the world. And that motherfucker tried to pick up one block that weighed about, it was about 20 tons. Man, that motherfucker broke. Whole fucking crane fell over. Motherfucking crane went to struggle. So you talking about one block, and it's over like 2 million blocks on this pyramid. It's over 2 million blocks on this pyramid, and the heaviest ones is at the top. So this is the greatest and will always be. You understand what I'm saying? Until, this motherfucker is the greatest of all time. Okay? And the eighth wonder is the Hormaki, the Sphinx. Okay, we lining it up, family. We lining it up, which is they try to say it's the Sphinx of Khafra. Now, Khafra's pyramid is right behind because you can tell the difference between Khafra's pyramid. It looks like it's bigger than Khufu's, but it's not. It's just built on a higher plateau. You see what I'm saying? But Khafra's, which is the son of Khufu, because his still got a little limestone at the top. You see what I'm saying? But there's been scientists that have verified that there's water weathering on the Sphinx. And it ain't been no rain in Egypt. You understand what I'm saying? In almost, 7,000 years. You know what I'm saying? 8,000 years. So they saying that the Hormaki very well could be, 5,000-6,000 years older than the pyramid of Khafra. But, we'll do some more research into that. It don't make no damn difference because the science that went into building that goddamn pyramid is older than that. So even if it is 7,000-8,000, it's still old. The science that went into building any of them pyramids is at least 250,000 to 500,000 years. So that now, so we're not going to get into that argument because all of it is older than what they say it is. It's the dating system of the Europeans that fucked up. You know what I'm saying? That's what's the problem. You know what I'm saying? The Sphinx, very well could be built at the same time of the pyramid, but you understand, it could even been the Nile. You know what I'm saying? That overflooded and got in there and did some of that. We don't know. You see what I'm saying? But we know that is older than some goddamn 3,000 years. Okay? The Ark of Khufu. And I didn't put my number in there. I got to put my number in there. Did I put 9 in there? I didn't. That's my 24th then. That's my 24th. My 25th, I mean. I'm going to go on and, I'm going to go on and put that in there. Hold on. I'm going to go on and put that in there. I didn't want to put it so far down. I'm going to make that my 25th. I'll reconstruct it in a minute. You know what I'm saying? But they're not in order no way. They just, that's how many on the list. I didn't want to put 9, too many. The only one that's really obvious is but when you get to some of them temples, they gonna compete with them pyramids. You feel me? Some of them damn temples is that. Now this is, you talking about, and this proves it. You see what I'm saying? This proves that our people, look at this boat. This is, people don't understand, this is a massive boat. This ain't no little bitty boat. The oldest, most preserved ship on the planet. And then they got boats even older than that. That they wasn't in this, as good a shape as this. But I seen where they had, they have found arks. And, arks all up, with the earliest burials, with Narmer and Mena, that, because, the Pharaoh would sail on the Celestial Nile. You understand what I'm saying? This is his ship that he would sail on the Celestial Nile in Amenta, in the afterlife. So this was a ritual and ceremony that all of the pharaohs had. And so their ark was buried right next to their pyramid or their place of burial, so that when they, when they come into the next life, the ark would be there for them. So I'm already showing you. That's why I keep telling our people, we didn't walk no motherfucking where. We sailed there. You know what I'm saying? And then you talking about the Noah's Ark. How the fuck is some goat herders gonna have a story about an ark? You ain't never heard of a Hebrew sail no motherfucking where. From the beginning to the end of the goddamn book, them motherfuckers was goat herders. And then you got the Ark of fucking Noah. How the fuck a goat herder gonna build a goddamn ark? Y'all don't listen, y'all, but see, this is what I'm talking about. They stealing our story and rewriting the story and selling us back some bullshit. So right here is proof positive that our peoples was on the seas and they got ships bigger than this. But this ship right here is seaworthy. Okay? This ain't no little bitty ship. This is seaworthy. Okay? And so we go on to 9 and 10. So Khufu, even though it's 25, we'll end at 24. We go on to 9 and 10, and this is what I'm talking about. We talking about Abu Simbel, okay? And we talking about the two great temples of Ramesses and Nefertari II. And Ramesses ruled around 12. He ruled around 1200, 1300 BC. Okay, this is the time he ruled. He ruled in the 19th dynasty. Okay, right after the 18th dynasty, Seti and Ramesses ruled in the 19th dynasty. Okay, and this was under Ramesses II. Okay, and so these temples were actually moved. They were further down, but when they built the Aswan Dam, they flooded the temples out. You see what I'm saying? They flooded the temples out. So they cut them out there, UNESCO, okay, which is the UN, they archaeological department. Cut them out and moved them back, okay? And they left a lot of the temple down underwater. And that's so much of Nubia is underwater. You know, them nasty ass Arabs and them Europeans built the Aswan Dam. And when they built that, they flooded out many, many artifacts in Nubia that would have proved that they come out of Egypt. I mean, that the Egyptians come out of Nubia. There's no doubt about it. They still got enough research today to prove that. So now when you talking about Mount Rushmore and this is where they get that, but this is a temple that was built around 2700 BC. You know what I'm saying? You talking about a temple that's still, you talking about a temple that's almost 4,000 years old. Okay? It's almost 4,000 years old. And for me, this is the most beautiful temple in all of Egypt. You understand? Aesthetically. It's not the largest, but aesthetically, it's the most beautiful temple complex in all of Egypt. And understand, you got to come around from the backside to get to the front. So when you come around the backside and come to the front of this temple, you in awe. You know what I'm saying? You is in literal awe. And you seeing the Temple of Nefertari. This show how the black man love his woman. Nowhere in the European world where you go and see a temple. Matter of fact, this is the first megalithic temple ever built to a woman that's still on this level. Not to say there have never been no temples ever built to the African woman, but we talking about on a level such as this, shocking, world renowned, wonder of the world, still here after 4,000 years, and look like if the cracker don't go over there, it's gonna be here another damn 4,000 years. Ain't none of these temples going nowhere, and they will look in very much better condition. You know what I'm saying? And so as you looking at Egypt and what it looked like after, so many thousands of years of invaders, and what would Egypt have looked like when it was still there is shocking to the mind. Ain't none of that other shit gonna shock the mind. It's shocking to the mind just to see what's there now, but to see it in pristine form, all the temples, all the, from Nubia on down, everything in prison, it's just shocking to the mind. Nobody wants to accept that. Nobody else has that. Not India, not China, not Greece, not Rome, not the Mayans, not the Aztec. None. You can put them all together. None of that is shocking to the mind. This is shocking to the mind to conceive what it would have looked like in pristine form. So we give the two temples at Abu Simbel, the 9th and 10th spot, even though we're not, and I put it up there technically. If I had to choose, you know what I'm saying? It would be, number, it would have to take the number 2 or 3 third spot behind Khufu. The only other, maybe the pyramid of Khafra is still a monstrosity. You understand what I'm saying? And maybe the red pyramid, of Seneferu. So it's arguably, but most definitely is not getting a lower number than number 4. You know what I'm saying? As the temples, I have to put this one number 4, even though Karnak is just a monster. And I'm saying that not in a bad way, but in a good way. You know what I'm saying? But aesthetically, this one right here, as soon as you see it, it's just gonna have a shocking effect on the mind. You see it right there. You see what I'm saying? There's nothing like that in the world. This is the most beautiful temple in the world to me. You know what I'm saying? Hands down, ain't nothing in comparison. And this is Nefertari, and hers ain't, it ain't slacking now. It ain't slack. That's a beauty. You go in the inside, it's not slacking. He looked out most. And this is the first time you ever seen, no, that's T. That's T, where you see the goddess, the queen on the same level as the king. He letting you know, we equals. You see what I'm saying? And so there's never been no inequality or no one women's liberation. That's a white woman's fight. The black man been showing his woman as not only his equal, but his God. You know what I'm saying? Where they still fighting for women's rights and shit. Women that never had, because they was born with their rights. They didn't have to fight for their rights. The woman has always been revered in Africa. And so this is, number 10. Now, number 11, which is another temple to the goddess. You see what I'm saying? The Grand Temple of Isis at Philae. Now, this is a beautiful monument, man. And ain't like I said, if we just went through the last ones, there's no way you could compare any of those to any one of these. Now, this was built in the 30th dynasty. This was the last native dynasty of ancient Egypt. So if I'm not mistaken, the 30th dynasty was 600 BC, somewhere up in there, 600 BC, late 500 BC. And so this was an African king, okay? A lot of people think that this was built under the Ptolemies, and that's a damn lie. This was built under the African king. And so, that's why I say, and they came in here and scratched all on the walls, scratched the goddesses out. And this is the temple where you see the 2 lions in front of the pylons. And so when you go to China and you see the 2 lions in front of it, which they call the food dogs. Let me get a little drink, y'all. If you see the 2 dragons all through Asia in front, you see the 2 dragons. You see what I'm saying? This is where they got that from. And then if it wasn't the 2 lions, it would be the 2 obelisks. You understand? Showing you the polarity of opposites. You know what I'm saying? The laws of opposites. You see what I'm saying? And so you got the northern hemisphere, you got the southern hemisphere. People don't understand that. They're so myopic. You understand what I'm saying? They only think like the white man, using only one side of his brain, and he ain't using all that because his pineal ain't working. So if pineal ain't working, then you're lopsided. You know, it also stands for male and female. It's just obvious. And they ain't never been able to balance that. You understand what I'm saying? And so we give much praise to the great mother. You understand, the great holy mother, our set. You know what I'm saying? Who gave, you know, which is the African woman today. You understand what I'm saying? Who've been blessing us, looking out for the children. You understand, giving life to the babies. And without the black woman, you ain't got no damn nation. You see what I'm saying? And so it's through her blessings, you know what I'm saying, that the nation is still thriving even to today. You see? So here it is. Where at? I just showed you here, you know, the Grand Temple of Nefertari. Then you come over here, see the Grand Temple of Isis. Where can you go in the ancient world and find great megaliths to women, African women alone, but African women? You see what I'm saying? They man never had no love for them like this. You see what I'm saying? And you can see it from the water. So most of these temples is off the water, and that's another aesthetic that's just so, you know, beautiful, because you have to sell up on these temples, and you on the boat and you sell up on the side of one of these big temples, and you like, man, in this temple, you know, this particular temple right here is almost 3,000 years old. Okay, it's still almost 3,000 years old. You see, and so this is but it's one of the younger temples, and this is where a lot of Christianity was, the Serapis worship was, you know, formulated right here at this temple. Now we at the Grand Temple of Luxor, and this was first constructed by Amenhotep III. This is Akhenaten's father. Now, you know, his wife was the beautiful Queen T, Empress T, and I'll get on that much later. I didn't put her in here right now because I was just focusing on the megalithic structure itself. But most definitely, she should also be a credit. You know, whatever the king is a credit for, the queen is a credit for too. We already know that. You know what I'm saying? But this particular structure was a university for men, okay? This is where the brothers came and were initiated into priesthood. This was the Grand Lodge where when you reach your completion and you was ready to get your final initiation, right here is where the brothers was initiated. This is the Grand Lodge, and you can even go off in the Masonic books, and they talk about the Grand Temple of Luxor. How the fuck you gonna talk about? And this was constructed around, it began construction around 1500 BCE. Okay, you talking about 1600 BCE. Ramesses II came along and built on to it. Okay, he built on to it. Okay, so, but it was first constructed, and you see one of the obelisks is missing. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, this obelisk is not I think this is the obelisk. If I'm not mistaken, if it ain't the one at St. Peter's, it's the one in Paris, okay, that they got on the Concord, okay? So it's either the one in, but I think it's the one in Paris. I think it's the one on the Concord. If you look up the Egyptian obelisk in Paris at the Concord, I think that is the pyramid that they removed. Now that just show you how lopsided you is, because you could not have understood that let you know. And then the shit is how they try to steal Egypt and say that white people built the damn ancient Egypt Man, if you knew how to construct this shit, and I'm just saying this in a good way. I'm saying it in a good way. If you knew how to build on this level, you wouldn't have never came to tear it down in all that time and all that manpower to drag it back to Europe when you could have just constructed it on the continent of Europe and saved yourself so much damn trouble. You come to Egypt and tear down everything. That just lets you know you didn't have the know-how. You didn't have the technology. Now, if it was white people that built Egypt, why you didn't keep them? Why would you come out the cave, come out of Europe? Because you got to understand that these temples are before Greece. You got to understand at 1600, I said 1500, I meant to go up. 1600, 1700 BC. Do you know there is no Greece at this time? There's not one temple in Greece standing. There's no Rome. There's no Olmec. There's no Maya. There's no Inca. There's no Indians. The Indian nation is not here yet. None of them nations have a monument standing at this time. So if it was a European, why didn't he show none of this grandeur in his homeland before he got to Africa? And if he did build it in Africa, why he didn't take none of this goddamn knowledge back to Europe with him? That don't make no damn sense. You gonna come to another man's house and build your greatest monuments and don't build none for your own people? And then you come to Africa, build this great monument, and then go back to Europe and go up under the ice damn near 2,000 years before any civilization is to arise on the continent of Europe. We got to wake up today. We got to wake up today. You see what I'm saying? So I'm showing you, hands down, that really, when I lay it out, this is just my warm up. But this right here, you need to see this, because this is just proof positive of how we the greatest that ever walked this earth, the greatest that ever gonna walk this goddamn. Nobody could do it like the African. Now, this is the colonnade hall. You see that's the papyrus, if I'm not mistaken. Is that loaded? I got to get my columns together. You understand what I'm saying? But I think that's a closed lotus, if I'm not mistaken. That's closed lotus papyrus. But I got to get myself warmed up, on all my lectures. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm supposed to be popping on everything. I damn near know everything damn near it is to know. You see what I'm saying? But you're looking at the great colonnade. Look at the columns. You understand? Even though the temple then fell down, and it didn't just fall down, they destroyed it. Okay, let's just be real about it. It ain't like, they destroyed it because look at them blocks at the top of the damn column. That shit ain't falling nowhere. That ain't going nowhere. Them temples and pyramids are built to last for eternity. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you wasn't the greatest of the greatest kings, then obvious you didn't have that kind of money and you didn't have that kind of manpower. So your temple is not here today. But the great kings and queens, they still here. And again, and you can look right at Amenhotep III. And everybody can see that's a very handsome brother. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people say I look like Amenhotep III. You know what I'm saying? But that's Amenhotep III right there, and it's obvious to see. And then when you see his wife, Queen T, you already know what it is. So we ain't got to second guess who built these temples, okay? Again, now this is where Ramesses built on to it. You understand? Ramesses built, and that's Ramesses II right there. You know what I'm saying? And you see that colonnade back. Look at the temple. Look at the size of them columns. But then even when you get to Karnak, even Karnak gonna dwarf that. You understand? But look at them columns to the sky. I don't know how tall they is, but they look every bit of over, 100 feet in the sky. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get all the specs So this is gonna be one of my, my main templates as I go across my teachings. You see what I'm saying? So this is, man, you need to get to Africa. Don't let these niggas talk you up out of going home. I'm telling you, this is the best thing you could do for your life and your spirit. I went to Mexico, and I'm gonna just be real. I didn't feel my people down there, man. I didn't feel no African spirit down there. I was looking, even though I know, you know what I'm saying? Our people had a major influence on it. But, they was here as immigrants. They wasn't here like just the crib. When you go to Africa, you at the crib. You can feel it in your spirit. You know what I'm saying? You can feel it in your spirit. So, just showing you we on just 12. We just on 12, family. And so we at the Grand Temple of Luxor, Amenhotep III, his wife, Queen T, Ramesses II. Both of them had some beautiful goddesses. Both of them. You understand what I'm saying? Black woman make a nigga build like that. Shit. Damn it, when you got to impress a goddess look like that, you got to build big, nigga. You got to show her what you were. Because she coming from a bloodline of great royalty. You understand what I'm saying? So these goddesses made these niggas build to the sky. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I'm talking about. Again, looking at the colonnade, this is the Grand Temple of Luxor. This is where the brothers was raised up. And this was where I was raised up. This is at this temple right here, Temple of Luxor, is where I became Seti back in 2005. Okay? I've been Seti over 14 years. That's how long I've been doing this. Just from the, and that wasn't my first time. You know what I'm saying? That was my third time. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm going to get back very soon. You know what I'm saying? But over 14 years ago, I was raised up at this temple right here as Seti and Tef by the Grand Master Teacher, Ashra Kwesi. And so you see right here, this is a temple complex. Because if you look all the way down to the right at the bottom, you see the Temple of Luxor. That's just the temple I was just showing you. And then you got to see the avenue of sphinxes. Do I got them sphinxes? I don't have them out there. The next time I have, just to show you all the sphinxes that would have been on that road leading down, man, it had to be, at least, man, it had to, I don't know how many sphinxes it would take to reach all the way down to that temple. But I'm going to let you know, it had to be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds on both sides, from that Temple of Luxor down to the great temple of Karnak. And then behind it, you see the precinct of Mut. So the great temple is to Amen, and then the temple, the precinct of Mut is to the goddess wife of Amen, which is Mut. And listen here, it's temples inside the temple. When you get to the precinct of Mut, the larger enclosure is, the wall around it, but it's like 3 temples inside of that one temple. And then when you go to the temple of Karnak, man, listen here, it's about 50 temples inside of that one temple. 50. This is the largest. A lot of people try to say that Angkor Wat is the largest temple complex, and that's a damn lie. You understand what I'm saying? Angkor Wat, and that's one of our Naga Kushite temples. And I'm going to show y'all how it was constructed on the blueprint of the Egyptian temples. I'm going to show you that. No doubt about it. Okay? I don't leave no fucking doubt. Now, if you let one of these little weak niggas talk you up out of your science, then shame on you, nigga. Do what you got to do. Only the strong will prevail. And you understand? I'm for the strong. I'm not for the weak. If I bring you the truth and the facts right there in your face, and you let one of these clown niggas talk you about the truth, then shame on you, nigga. Get what you got. Go read comic books then, nigga. We showing you the megalithic divine structures that our ancestors put down, and we just in Egypt. We ain't even went up in Nubia. We ain't even went up the river yet. Okay, so let me move on. Okay, for the largely uneducated ancient Egyptian population, this could only have been the place of the gods. We talk about Karnak right here, the Grand Temple of Karnak. Now look here. I said Abu Simbel was the most aesthetically beautiful temple of all time. But when you come to this temple right here, it makes you rethink that. And you understand? That's how great Africa is. This, you know, you like, damn, I'm gonna give you the. And then I said, wait a minute, nah. Because when you look at these colonnades, ooh, you might have to rethink that. It's a fight. And we talking, it's a fight for the top. That's how many beautiful monuments. I love them all. Every last one of them is sacred to me. They sacred. Ain't nothing more sacred than that. Okay, it is the largest religious building ever made, covering over 200 acres. It was a place of pilgrimage for nearly 2,000 years. That's how long they added on to this temple. The area of the sacred enclosure of Amen alone is 61 acres and could hold 10 average European cathedrals. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? They say the area, the sacred enclosure of Amen alone is 61 acres and could hold 10 average European cathedrals. The great temple at the heart of Karnak is so big that St. Peter's, Milan, and Notre Dame cathedrals would fit within its walls. Okay? We talking today, baby. The hypostyle hall at 54,000 square feet, okay, and featuring 34 columns is still the largest room of any religious building in the world. Okay? So here we go, family. Look at this. Look at this. Ain't no comparison. Okay, and so they started building this temple. And what's crazy about it, they started building this temple, and let me see. I think they started building it, and right around this, when they constructed the Temple of Luxor. So right around 1500. You understand what I'm saying? If I'm not mistaken, you know what I'm saying? Maybe 2000 BC. You understand? Because they say for over 2,000 years, and I know they were still building on to it, even into the last kings of ancient Egypt. They were still building on to it. So most definitely it was constructed in the New Kingdom. But it was older temples even before this temple. You see what I'm saying? If you go up under Dr. Ben reading from Abu Simbel to Giza, you understand this was a precinct to Montu. Montu was the warrior god before Amen. You see what I'm saying? And so at that time, it was sacred to Montu. So, but you know, this temple right here is the temple of Amen, and you can see these columns. Man, it look like God, man, gods created these columns. Gods. You see what I'm saying? Gods put these columns together. Okay? Not mere man. And so where you gonna go? Where you gonna go to compare to this? You know what I'm saying? In the BC era. We only on 13, y'all. We only on turn. Now look at this. This is the Temple of Khonsu. This is inside the Temple of Karnak. You got a temple inside the temple. You got temples inside the temple. Now Khonsu was the moon god, and he was the son of Amen and Mu. Okay, he was a moon deity. Okay, and you come inside his temple. I've been in his temple many times, and you can see the columns inside his temple. They're not as large as, you know, the columns of the great colonnade of Amen, but this is a temple inside that temple, and there's many, many more temples inside of this. So, you know, people is trying. Angkor Wat is a beautiful temple. it's one of the most beautiful because that's our family, no doubt about it. But it cannot compare to the Temple of Karnak. It cannot at all. Don't even try. Goddamn it, Karnak, damn near 4,000 years older than Angkor Wat. Okay, let's be real about it. Now look at this. We're in the Serapeum, and this is a sarcophagus. Listen, family, look at this, man. And then I had to show these. When I tell you this, because you see the sarcophaguses in America. You see the sarcophagus I showed of the Olmec. I showed you the sarcophaguses of Pakal, if I didn't. You know, he was in a sarcophagus. Now look at this. 100 tons. Man, this right here is shocking. 100. Do you know how tall this sarcophagus is? Let me show you a man standing next to it. God damn. Look at that. Look at that shit right there, man. I have to say it just like that. That's shocking. That's shocking to the mind. Who the hell was you going to put in that? You understand what I'm saying? Who was you going to put in that? Whoever that was, he was one of the greatest kings or queens that ever lived. You know what I'm saying? But just to show you the level on which the Africans built is no comparison. Okay, so this is at Saqqara, and Saqqara is where the first pyramid of Zolja that was built by Imhotep. Okay, now we're going to Great Zimbabwe. Now this is in South Africa now. This is in South Africa. They tried to steal it. You know, now this great megalith was built around 1600 AD. Okay, this is not a BC structure, but it shows you still that the greatness of architectural ingenuity in the Nile Valley is still alive in our people. Look, this is a megalith, and they did not use no mortar, okay, to build this, okay, and it's still standing, and it look like it's gonna stand for a mighty long time if nobody go over there fucking with it. You understand what I'm saying? The European probably didn't already try to knock it down because they didn't want no. They didn't been saying that Africans, other sub-Saharan Africans, didn't know how to do nothing but roll around in the mud and all that. And then when they found it, they tried to say the Portuguese built it. Then they tried to say the Knights Templars built it. Man, they'll say anything to not give African people no credit. So this is deep down in South Africa. You see what Zimbabwe is in South Africa. So we showing you the distances of our monument. Nowhere in the world where you could go and find so many megalithic structures on no continent, especially dealing in the BC period, because this is the first one that's not in the BC period. But most definitely it is one of the wonders, the great wonders of Africa. I don't give a goddamn about the other so-called wonders. Them motherfuckers ain't no wonders. Wonder how they got on the damn list. That's the only wonder I'm wondering, how they got on the damn list. So you see the cone pyramids, and this would have been the enclosure for the royalty. You see what I'm saying? For the royalty, the king and his family and his most closest advisors would have been in there. But they had these type of structures all around this structure. They might not have been as big. You understand what I'm saying? But it was evident. You can even look in the back where they has, more structures. So, this was a culture all throughout Southern Africa, and this was the heart of it, you see, and we'll get deeper off into this, as I move through the year. We're going to get off in the Great Zimbabwe and the culture that, thrived in this part of Africa. And then we got 16, Lalibela. I was there. Wonders of the world. Didn't even use blocks. They carved the mountain down. Do you understand? There's no blocks on these structures. There's 11 churches, but there's no blocks on the structure. You see, they carved the mountain, and I'm gonna show you the same type, and it's the same type of architectural design that they used on Abu Simbel. They carved the mountain down. Even Hatshepsut's temple, they carved the mountain down. They didn't even use blocks. You see, so there's different type of architectural design. One where you use blocks, one where you don't use blocks. You just use the mountain, and you can't make no mistakes. You can't make no mistakes. You see what I'm saying? So you talking about around 1600 AD, where you can still see the ingenuity of the great African, engineers, architectural engineers, all the way from the pyramid, even up in Ethiopia, even down in Great Zimbabwe. Ain't nobody got to line up, and I'm just on 16, family. Ain't nobody got to line up like this. You see what I'm saying? So when we get ready to have these battles, and man, I can't wait to have them. God damn it, I hope all the Europeans, I hope all the Hindu, I'm going to hype it up too. Have your ass in the play. We going to see if you got a lineup that can match this line. And I just got 25, but I believe I could put a good 10 more on there. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't want to leave none off. So I got to have my second and my third string. So when I get ready to go to war with these others, I got everything I need. Because we're gonna have literature, we're gonna have architecture, we're gonna have personalities, women in power. We're gonna see who really rise to the occasion. And I'm gonna show you hands down is nobody can compare to Mama Africa, man. You should be so proud to be an African. Too many of you niggas is, y'all putting all your energy off into, these fake lineups that ain't going. They mythological, Lemuria, Atlantis, shit up under the water. Nothing you can actually show to the world. And then what you have to do is you have to latch on to Africa and say, well, the Moors, bitch, ain't no Moor built shit. Africans built these. Don't try to latch on to our shit. If you come from over here, bitch, stay over here. Don't come over to Africa name and try. See, that's how they do. They nothing but leeches. They have nothing really solid to land, to stand on. So we at 16, we at the Lalibela churches, and this Lalibela. And this is the layout of the 11 churches. I've been into Better George. I've been into the cross, the monolithic cross. I've been into the back at the bottom. I've been into all the ones at the bottom, I think. Or was it at the top? Let me see which ones I was in. Beta Lean, Beta Mariam. No, the ones at the top. Them was the ones I went to. The ones at the bottom, they were more constructed like as forts, because this is up in the mountains. You got to understand, you got to fly in to this area. Lalibela is like Tibet. It's in the mountains. You got to fly into the mountains, and then you fly from Addis Ababa to it's no other way to get there other than through an airplane. You understand what I'm saying? We flew over so many miles and miles of mountains. Man, if that plane went down, nigga, you would never be heard from. Straight up, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? So it's so remote that just going there is that's a trip of a lifetime. Just going to Lalibela, you could get to Ethiopia, but just going to Lalibela alone is like, you got to be prepared for that. And then when you land on the strip, the airplane strip, you still got to ride up more mountains. You know what I'm saying? You are up and you is like, I don't know how many thousands of feet up in the air. You see what I'm saying? But when I looked down, man, it was, and at night, oh my God, you scared to come out the hotel because it looked like you might fall off the edge of the damn planet. That's how high up, and it's dark, and you don't know where to nigga please. I didn't even come out the damn hotel. I was scared because it was so dark. You don't know where the edge of the damn mountain at. You like, fuck that, I'm gonna stay my ass right here. And you can hear all the animals come out. You can hear the lions, and you can hear the monkeys and all that. You can hear all the animals come out at night. You can hear them too. You see what I'm saying? But you see Lalibela right there. He's responsible for all 11 of these churches. So he's got to be ranked as one of the greatest of, African architectural masters of all time. Okay? There are 11 medieval monolith churches in Lalibela, one of Ethiopia's holiest cities, second only to Luxor. The construction of the church is dated somewhere between, the 1150s and the 1170s. Okay? So it's almost 1,000 years old. Okay? It's almost 1,000 years old. During the reign of King Lalibela, one of the most famous rulers of Ethiopia's Zimbabwe dynasty. In fact, the ancient town of Roha was named after King Lalibela himself upon his death. Okay, so this is a frontal shot. If y'all see me in Ethiopia when I was pointing out what people know of as the swastika, which is nothing but a cross, and it was right there on the side of the Ethiopian church, this is where I was at. I was at Lalibela. And Lalibela is considered the New Jerusalem. When Jerusalem fell, in the Ethiopian, and King Solomon, to them, King Solomon had a son by Queen Sheba, whose name was Menelik the first. And Menelik, along with the first, when Menelik left Jerusalem, he went to see Solomon. Even though this is all a story, I'm just telling you the story. Not that I necessarily believe it, but family want to believe it, and I'm not trying to argue with them right now. But they believe that Menelik came back with the 10 Commandments. And from that point on, Jerusalem, Oxum became the New Jerusalem. Lalibela is considered the New Jerusalem, where all the pilgrimages would, take place, and, they would come from miles, all over Ethiopia during the sacred festivals to this area to worship. And they don't like foreigners coming in to Ethiopia at this time because they don't want no interference into their sacred festivities. And so this is the church from the top. And when I was up there, I said, damn, you better not get too close to that edge. Because I tell you what, I know it's been some people that have made that wrong step. If your ass fall off of that, baby, you ain't gonna make it. You ain't gonna make it. I'm just gonna tell you that straight up. You ain't gonna make it. That got to be at least 30 feet, 40 feet down. 60 feet down. That ain't just no little drop. And then that's all, rock. Your ass hit that, you going splat, straight up. So this is that from the top. I done took many shots, and I'll do that, later on, where I show, the life and times of Sarah Seti. I can't wait to show that, get that back in effect for people to see, so niggas can respect my walk. You understand what I'm saying? Because I didn't walk with the best. I didn't walk with the best, and I love them, and I thank them, for blessing me with that opportunity. It's like how these people say they walk with, you read in most of these holy books, and they say, these men walk prophets. Well, I feel the same way that I walk with prophets, walking with Dr. Ben, walking with Dr. Clark, walking with Walter Williams. You know what I'm saying? Meeting all these great men. You know what I'm saying? And so it hasn't been a greater time in my life, than when I was, earlier in my years, when I was going to see these men speak and they was teaching me and giving me all the information that allowed me to be the scholar that I am today. If it wasn't for Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark, you know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for Walter Williams, if it wasn't for my uncle Pianki Menkepera, if it wasn't for Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, if it wasn't for Malcolm X, if it was not for Marcus Garvey, the Messiah, there could not be no General Cyrus Soon-Sat. So though I'm the next layer on the pyramid, I always give homage to them blocks that was laid before me. And I'll never try, even if the way, I see the world now may be somewhat different, even though the basic premise of what I teach is the same as my teachers. You know what I'm saying? It still does not change that these are the early layers of the pyramid, and without the pyramids at the bottom, it is no way for the next layers to have anything to be, to anything you could stand on or lay on. And so, I'm the next tier on top of the other tiers. The Ashraf Kwesi, the Dr. Ben, under Ashraf Kwesi for over 16, 17 years. Okay, I was under Dr. Ben 27 years before he died. I was under Dr. John Henry Clark 10 years before he died. Under Walter Williams now for 10 years. Okay, and I'm talking about being in close proximity. I'm not talking about just in no damn lectures and shit. I saw Dr. Ben when I was in Egypt. Didn't even know he was over there. You see what I'm saying? But I ran into Dr. Ben in Egypt not the same year I was raised, the year before, the first year I went to Egypt, 2003. And then the year I was raised, I come back home to Detroit, and Dr. Ben snuck to Detroit because he got, Dr. Ben used to stay in Detroit. He used to teach at Wayne State University. And so, you know what I'm saying? So he had older friends that he loved in Detroit. Long before I was even born, he was teaching in Highland Park, right out as a suburb. It ain't really, it's part of Detroit, really, because it's inside of Detroit. But he used to teach in the summer at Highland Park Community College. And so Dr. Ben got a lot of friends in Detroit. And so, to know that, he snuck up there the year I was raised. And I looked, and no, I got a call. They was like, Dr. Ben is in Detroit. Like, where the hell he at? Dr. Ben, as old as he was, he got on the plane by himself, scooting, and came to Detroit. Man, the brothers was out at the damn airport before he could get off the damn plane. They had bum rushed there and brought Dr. Ben down to see his very good friend in Detroit. I forget the brother name. It'll come to my memory, and it'll come to my mind in a minute. Okay, but let's move on here. This is one of the other 11 churches you see right here, carved down out of the mountain. No brick, no blocks or nothing. You know how good you got to be to do that? You understand what I'm saying? You can't even make a mistake. You can't even make a mistake, because if you make it, it's going to be so obvious. So these was master architects. You talking about 11, so you talking about from, and they building, listen here, Ethiopia is still master architect. I was just over there, maybe, when I went there on 7 years ago, I was there. And so I got to go back and re-up, you know what I'm saying? But they was building, and they still beautiful building. I say, damn. And everybody always talking about Ethiopians starving. Man, the family ain't lost none of that science. They ain't lost none of that science. They just been starved in Africa to the point where we can't be the best we could be because we still trying to get up on our feet. You see what I'm saying? And so 17 is the awesome stela or obelisks, okay? 4th century AD. Now, one of all of them don't weigh the same. Now, the one to the right, they call the awesome stela, and some people with their crazy mind will call this the Roman stela because when Mussolini, with his wicked ass, when during World War II, when they was having, Hitler was bombing the British and the French, Mussolini was down in Ethiopia. Okay, he was mad because he didn't get when the Europeans was carving up Africa, he didn't get a piece. So Ethiopia was about the last nation that had never been conquered. And it never was conquered. They never conquered, even when they was in there, they never fully conquered. So Ethiopia is the only African nation that never been colonized. Okay, we got to give credit to Mama Ethiopia now. Awesome, baby. We got to give credit. Never been colonized. So even when they came in, the Black Lions were still on their guerrilla warfare, fighting from the outskirts. So the Italians had the cities, but they never had the rural areas. Okay, they never had the rural areas. So Ethiopia was never colonized, even though they invaded, they were never colonized. So you see, they brought it back, if I'm not mistaken, about 10 years ago. No, it wasn't even there when I was there. Let me quit lying. It probably just got back there a few years ago because I was there 7 years ago and it wasn't there yet. So it probably got there within that amount of time. You could see it, pictures of it when it was in Italy. They took it and broke it down and took it to Italy. Now, it's back in Ethiopia now, but I don't know what the Ethiopians had to give them to get that back. Because them crackers always underhand. Okay, and then you see one to the left of it. These weigh tons and tons and tons. Now, the one that fell down, that was the largest one, 500 tons. 500 tons. You see what I'm saying? Carved out of one block. Okay? And they say an earthquake did it. Okay, I don't know. I believe them crackers was trying to get them down and the motherfuckers fell down and broke. I blame everything on the cracker. I don't let them get away with nothing. But it was the largest, the only other obelisk. Matter of fact, it's the largest single monument carved from one block in the world, in the ancient world. The only other one, but it wasn't raised, was the unfinished obelisk in Egypt of Hatshepsut, which weighed over 1,160 tons, twice that size. But it had a flaw in it, so they didn't raise it. Okay, so you talking about awesome is from about 100 to 1000 AD, and so them dates can fluctuate because they never want to say. But Aksum took over from Nubia. When Egypt fell, Nubia was still a nation. Okay, Nubia remained a nation probably for almost at least 500 years after Egypt fell. Nubia was still a nation, but Aksum took over from Nubia, okay? And Aksum took over from Nubia, and it's the last of the ancient Nile Valley civilizations. And it was one of the most powerful nations in the world at that time. You see that Red Sea, you see what they call the Sea of Punt. I don't call no Ethiopian Sea or none of that. Okay, that's where them crackers that went over there and read, that's the Sea of Punt. And so that right there is one of, the trade route from Asia and, up the Red Sea into Europe. And so this was one of the most strategic waterways in the ancient world, and one of the most strategic today. That's why they over there messing with Somalia. And that's why Somalia, and you hear the Somalians firing on them damn United States boats and shit, because they over there fucking around trying to keep that economic waterway open for all their oil and all they imports and exports. So that's still, and we're gonna deal with that. We're gonna deal with that too. We're gonna deal with that as we get off into, the year. We working out this year, family. When I say we're gonna grow, we're gonna grow. We're gonna grow substantially. Me, you, and the whole family, even the haters gonna grow. Because we're gonna pull their ass in. They gonna get hit so goddamn hard, they gonna have to come in. They gonna say, God damn, I'm on the team, Sadie. I'm on the team. Damn, you done beat me on the team, nigga. I can't no longer listen to the lie that these niggas been telling me. Number 18, Deir el-Bahari, which is the funerary temple of Hatshepsut. Looked like it was just did yesterday. Okay, just look like it was, and it is, when you, as the teacher, Ashra Kwesi was teaching us, and even Dr. Ben, when you go to architectural school today, do you understand that Deir el-Bahari is, you got to study Deir el-Bahari today. If you look at a lot of the damn monuments and great structures of today, they were patterned on this temple right here. And as you can see, it's just like Lalibela. It's carved out of the mountain. Okay? Okay, it's carved out of the mountain. Where do you get this type of, know-how? You see what I'm saying? So you got the pyramid where you building megalithic skies, but you got cut blocks. So you have to lay them blocks together. And then they got structures where they not even using blocks. You see what I'm saying? They just carving directly into the mountain. You understand? So we know when you go up further and further in Africa into the mountains, ain't no telling what kind of temples is lost in the mountains. You know what I'm saying? Tombs are, they hid a lot of tombs that they never gonna find. And thank the ancestors. Thank the ancestors. Some they done found, many more they'll never find. And so you looking at, and then here we go. This is Hatshepsut. This was, she took the title of Pharaoh. Now, I'm not in agreement with that, though I honor her. You know what I'm saying? She should have ruled as a queen. She should not have ruled as the masculine side. And when you go to, the Temple of Seti on the king's list, she's not there. That don't mean she's not to be honored, but she should not have took that position as king. That's no different, because, that's crossing the boundary, of what you call the laws of opposites. It don't mean a queen is as powerful as a king. And that's what she should have ruled as. She even put on a false beard. And then we know she was not no lesbian or anything, but the question always come up. You know what I'm saying? For the simple fact that she done that. No different than a king trying to rule as a queen and he go put on some women shit. You know what I'm saying? That's cross-dressing. You know what I'm saying? But she did that because she felt, based on the religious, ceremonies of how the king, who the most powerful in the land, that she had to do that. You know what I'm saying? To receive the power that she needed to rule. And so she did it. And no matter what nobody say, she's ranked as one of the greatest pharaohs of all time. There's no doubt about it. The megaliths that she left, the temples that she left, arguably Hatshepsut is in the top 5. You know what I'm saying? Arguably, she's in the top 5. No doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? Because she went to war. She even got on that chariot and went to war. She wasn't no queen that just sat at the palace and gave orders. She got up on that chariot. You can see her at the Temple of Karnak in her regalia, you know, as a warrior, you know, with the mace, you know, the war mace in her hand, raised up in the smiting of the enemy. So she didn't just sit at the palace, she went to war. And she lived at a time, you know, Egypt was at its height. You talking about the 18th dynasty. You talking about the New Kingdom. And her father, Tutmosis I, was one of the greatest kings of all time. That whole bloodline from Tutmosis, you know, all the way down from Amos Nefertari and Amos I, who started the 18th dynasty. So being that, you know, she took the throne in that era, you know, she built so many megalithic structures, even obelisks and temples at Karnak. You see what I'm saying? So she most definitely is, if I said top 10, she is more, and you talking about 76 kings that ruled ancient Egypt. To say you in the top 10 is not, you know, that's world renowned. That's world renowned. You see what I'm saying? No other, you didn't have no woman ruler in Greece and Rome and even in India of the renown of Hatshepsut or Queen Empress T. Okay, so just to give them they propers and they do. You know, I didn't put that in the slider, but at the same time, you know, it always come up and that must be addressed. Okay, that must be addressed. And this is and this just to show you her greatness, because this would have been the largest thing. Look at it from the aerial view. This, you know, this obelisk would have weighed 1,000 tons, 1,160 tons if it would have been raised. This would have been the largest monument of one block. This was one block. If they would have, imagine this. Imagine this. Where they quarried, because they quarried this at Aswan. They quarried this at Aswan. Ask yourself, what kind of ship would have sailed that block, 1,000 ton block of granite down to Luxor? Because that's where the rest of her obelisks was located. I think at Luxor, okay? The Temple of Karnak, okay? Imagine the type of barge. God damn, that look like it'll sink some of them big ass barges they got today. It'll sink some of them goddamn barges they got today. So that's why I'm saying that, you know, our people don't know the level of ancient, not just Egypt, the Nile Valley. I don't just speak of Egypt, I speak of the Nile Valley. That includes Nubia and Luxor. When I say the Nile Valley, I'm talking about from beginning to end, okay? So this just show you the greatness of Hatshepsut. Lord, if she would have raised that right there, good God Almighty, good God Almighty. You know what I'm saying? It would have had to been ranked up in the top. It would have had to been ranked. If she would have raised that, it would have had to been ranked in the top 5, 6 structures. It would have had, and even in that it ain't quarried, it still showed the greatness and probably in the top 20. It's still in the top 20. Okay, we had the pyramid, we in 20, we had number 20, we is that the pyramids of Meroe, which the pyramids in Nubia outnumbered the pyramids in Egypt, okay? You got some like, if I'm not mistaken, or close to 300 pyramids in Nubia. And you 75, 175 in Egypt. So between, Nubia and Egypt, what they done found is close to 500 pyramids. And you talking about, you talking about world-renowned pyramids. You're talking about world-renowned pyramid. See, a lot of that in Nubia been knocked down. Thank you, family, for all your support. Thank you for your praise. I love you. You know what I'm saying? So we at 20, and you got more pyramids. This is like one of the pyramids. You got a pyramid field of Nuri. You got the pyramid field of Meroe. Now the pyramid field of Nuri is where the earliest Kushite king that ruled in the 25th dynasty. I think Kushta, Pianki, Shabaka, and so forth. I think Taharqa might have been buried here at Meroe. Okay, but I'm gonna get all that because I'm just, I'm getting back on my A game. You know what I'm saying? Once I'm on my A game, I'm not gonna be missing on nothing. I'm not gonna be missing on nothing. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be missing. So, but here we looking at number 20. That don't mean it's number 20 because Sudan is beautiful. Sudan is beautiful. And when you look at the pyramids, there is no doubt these is one of the most spiritually most megalithic, most shocking wonders of Africa that must be given praise to. Okay? Queens is right next to King. Okay? Same size as the kings. Okay? And so in Nubia, you see even a more honoring, even though Egypt honors the woman, in Nubia, the sisters reach heights that they didn't, necessarily reach in Egypt. Okay? Not to say that the goddesses was, but in Nubia, there was eras where it was just whole dynastic periods of queens, the Kandaki queens. You know what I'm saying? Just, a whole dynastic rule where the woman, the goddess, just like I'm saying, the queen was the real power and the king was her arm. He was the arm piece. Okay, and the queen was the main piece. And so in Nubia, you see, and then certain titles like the high priestess of Amen, you see what I'm saying, was only achieved in Nubia. And when Pianki became a king in Egypt, he installed his sister as the high priestess of Amen. So that was in Egypt and Nubia. Okay? So there was a high priestess of, and so the women had high ranking, even in the priesthood at the time of the Nubians. I love that. And I'm going to do much more research on that because I love that. I love to be able to show how that black woman was doing her thing. You know how I honor the black woman. I love that. That's what it's about. We ain't got no fear of our woman being in power because she make the best decisions at many times. We hot-headed, but that's where the damn balance come in. Then it's time where we rise to the occasion. But that's the balance. It ain't gonna, it be errors. It be errors where the brothers, need to take the field and and it be errors when the goddesses need to take the center stage. But they always got the center stage, whether they in the front or whether, they never in the back, but sometimes they want to play the back. Not the back that, they just don't want to be in the front. They go ahead, nigga, go and take care of that business. You see what I'm saying? We here. They still, wield the same amount of power behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? And so here we go, looking again at the pyramids, and a lot of them been rebuilt. You understand? But they still, this is how they would have looked. And you can see still many of them in the back. You see what I'm saying? Now we at 21. had to go to West Africa, the mosque of Timbuktu, Mali. You see what I'm saying? We have to give Timbuktu great praise. We have to, because number one, when we talk, and we're gonna bring this up when we go to war with these other civilizations, when the battles of the civilizations go down. I want y'all in the house, because you're gonna have a lot of them Indians. I want their ass in the house. I'm doing it just for and you know why I'm doing it? Because they so disrespectful on their other documentaries where they speak that they the most ancient. I said, well, goddamn, how in the fuck is y'all the most ancient? You got, y'all was got the oldest sacred rites. Shut the fuck up. Now I got to go to war with you. Now I got to go to war with you. Because you're being disrespectful in the light of just overwhelming evidence. You're being disrespectful in the light of overwhelming evidence. Okay? So this was constructed during the reign of Mansa Musa. Okay? And the original mosque was constructed in 1327. Okay? Timbuktu is located on a bend in the Niger River in the modern nation of Mali. Now, what I wanted to bring up was the fact that the two greatest libraries of the ancient world, okay, was the Library of Alexandria and the Library of Timbuktu. Timbuktu has so many scrolls even that have been preserved today. Science and astronomy and geometry and history. You understand what I'm saying? So no other country is even coming close to the ancient manuscript that Timbuktu holds today. And so I don't know why we not in there helping our family, trying to preserve all that wisdom and all the fact that it's just ancient. You know what I'm saying? The fact that it's just ancient. Even though the mosque was built in 1327, many of the manuscripts is older than that. You understand what I'm saying? Many of the manuscripts is older than that. And we talking about at a time when the Europeans were still in the Dark Ages. Let's be real about that. They're still in the Dark Ages. And Mansa Musa is the richest man that ever lived. Y'all just seen a documentary where they had the richest people that ever lived. And a lot of people think how rich the Rothschilds is. You understand what I'm saying? These was white people, and they still had Mansa Musa ranked over the Rothschilds. Okay? Ranked over the Rothschilds. So he was the richest man that ever lived, hands down. Okay, so we have to put the mosque of Timbuktu, Mali on the list. And what I love about this, and that I bring out to the brothers, it was founded in 989 AD. So this is close around the same time as Lalibela. So that just show you that, it's popping off all over Africa. It ain't really no lopsidedness to this. You understand what I'm saying? Because you got Great Zimbabwe. I got to get the date. So you talking about from South Africa to Awesome, you understand, Lalibela, to over to the Mosque of Tim. Really, you talking about all over Africa is popping off. Okay? Even though they trying to promote all this slavery, and we know that slavery was going on. We understand the devastation. But before it all collapsed, you understand the greatness of what was going on in Africa was profound from north to south, east to west. The one thing that I love about the West African mosques is that they pyramids. See, they didn't take the Roman. Some of them do, but I'm talking about West Africa. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about West Africa. Where the Dogon come from. You see, they mosques a pyramid mosque. Okay, now when you go over towards the East Coast, you understand, even in the, some of the brothers, they still got some traditional mosque over there too. I'm not gonna lie, it's not the Rome, but they use that dome. They use that Roman dome. But when you come to West Africa, they got the pyramid mosque. You see that? And I'm gonna show you that. That's on the Egyptian temple blueprint. It's a sacred oblong, which is a rectangle. Okay? This is where you get the nave. This is where you get the cathedral, where you got that long walk from the front of the church to the back of the church. It's on a square. It's on a rectangle. Okay? It's on a rectangle. And that's the sacred oblong of the Masonic Lodge. Is if you look at any big cathedral, it's on the sacred square. If you go to India, if you even go to Angkor Wat, and once you lay the blueprints out, you're going to see it's on the sacred blueprint of the Egyptian Nile Valley Temple, hands down, because I'm showing you the oldest temples on the planet. So ain't no, if all the blueprints is on the rectangle, even the so-called Solomon's temple was on the Egyptian temple template. Bottom line. So how in the fuck is all these temples all around the world on the Egyptian blueprint? The Nile Valley Temple blueprint. Okay? Showing you that the Egyptian Nile Valley Temple is the mother of all sacred temples on the planet. Hands down. Okay? We're at 21, and it's in its height in the 12th century was attended by over 25,000 students. In the 12th century. In the 12th century, in Europe, the white man was dying of white death, what they call black death, but wasn't no black people dying. So I call it white death. So when we was down here teaching 25,000 students in the 20th century, they was up in there living with their animals in the same structure, taking no baths or nothing, got the worst goddamn sanitary environment in the world, which caused the nastiest disease of black death, which is really white death, to take out damn near 1/2 of Europe. Now that lets you know you don't want to be living next to no motherfucker like that. If his unsanitary ways, living with the rats, and the rats fleas, they have fleas and shit. You know what I'm saying? That was biting them. You ain't got no way to, preserve the food and shit. You eating rotten meat. You ain't burying your dead or none of that shit. Oh no. And you talking about how the fuck is you building pyramids and you ain't even mastered how to wash your ass? I'm just being real. You can't come up with no complex knowledge until you come up with simple knowledge. Okay, and the first thing you got to do is hygiene. You understand what I'm saying? That's first and foremost. And it was clear that they hadn't even mastered hygiene in the 12th century. Okay, that's just facts. So we showing you where it's located, Timbuktu, Mali, and then you got the Dogon is also in Mali, and I hope to get to Mali real soon. Mali is on my list of trip. So we still at 21, and see the pyramids. They build a mosque in the form of pyramids. And I love it. I can respect that. They still hold on to their traditions to show you that. And the Dogon say they came out the Nile Valley. You know what I'm saying? So we ain't got to add West Africans as East Africans. What is you talking about? The Dogon themselves say they got the knowledge from ancient Egypt. Okay? Let's deal with that. 22, the Valley of the Kings. Okay? And I'm going to put the Valley of the Queens in there too. I'm going to add that in there. You understand? Even though they haven't excavated, you know. And then when you're talking about the Valley of the Kings, a lot of queens was buried in the Valley of the Kings. So it should be called the Valley of the Kings and Queens, because it was queens buried on the side where they say is the Valley of the Kings. And it was over 62 tombs that was found. This is a cemetery, okay? This is a cemetery. This is the most famous cemetery in the world, okay? And so you can imagine if King Tut is just one tomb, you know, they had to hide, and, you know, because they were stealing. And so King Tut was a young boy. You know what I'm saying? King Tut died at around 17, 18 years old, okay? He inherited most of his wealth from Akhenaten, okay, who inherited most of his wealth from his father, Amenhotep III. That was just a rich dynasty. So if King Tut, which they call Tutankhamun, okay, Tutankhamun or Tutankhamun, who was a young boy, and they went down in there and found probably the single greatest treasure of all time. You know what I'm saying? The sarcophagus of King Tut is the greatest single treasure that has ever been found or ever will be found, okay? If he was a young boy, what did the other king, who had been on the throne for 70 years, 50 years, what did Amenhotep III? And he was like the greatest builder behind Ramesses II. Okay, Ramesses II built more structures in ancient Egypt than any one king. And Amenhotep III was second. Them two kings right there built so much, it's ridiculous. They 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Sneferu, who built about 3 pyramids, because he had the bent pyramid and the red pyramid, and he built on to the pyramid of Huni. You know what I'm saying? So that king laid down more stone than any one king. So you talking about, you know, you talking about what did these kings have in they damn, you know, in they burial? If King Tut had that, only the mind could imagine. So you got 62 of the greatest kings and queens, you know, carved down in the mountains. I went down in about 6 of the tombs myself. Shocking, shocking, shocking. To be that deep down in the ground. You're talking about skyscrapers under the ground, because there's so many levels. Some of them kings had 6 and 7 levels, going deeper and deeper and deep. You in the cavity of the earth. You in the cavity of the earth. You in the cavity of the earth. And to get down, and they didn't carve that much granite out of the earth, to remove it out of there was a damn feat alone. And then again, this is not blocks. You carving it. So this is perfectly carved out of the mountain. Do you feel me? This is carved out of the mountain. So though you got pyramids where they use cut blocks, these are not block structures. These are the actual mountains that they carving in. Okay? And this is where, you know, they went down in one of the tombs and found the greatest find ever of the boy king, who they call Tutankhamun. And old filthy Arab, half Nubian, showed the white boy Howard Carter where it was. Shouldn't have never showed him where it was. But he, you know, at that time they looking for money. And so they think they about to make a couple dollars, then they tell where it is. And so this is the outer coffin. And this is a replica on top of it. But this is the outer coffin. Now, it was 3 coffins. It was 3 coffins. I think it was 3 coffins. 3 coffins. It was 3 coffins. You know, the second one was also in gold. And if I'm not mistaken, The third one might have been wood, but up under that was the gold mask. So he had 3 sarcophaguses inside of one, and in the last one, he had the gold mask inside of that one. I said, man, boy, the Egyptians is out cold. They out cold. Ain't no competing with ancient Egypt. Ain't no competition. And I'm sick of that. We got to claim our history. We got to claim. We cannot be over here. How the fuck you gonna put a fucking feather in your goddamn hair, nigga? And you over here with a mud mound, nigga. We the greatest megaliths that our people ever constructed. Nigga, you silly-fied. You silly-fied, nigga. You silly-fied. To start, we still honor our people that came over here and did much great work. But even them were of a high civilization. They weren't comparing to Egypt, but you know they sat in the schools of the Nile Valley. They sat in the schools of the Nile, whether it was in Nubia, whether it was in Aksum, whether it was in Egypt, they sat in the schools of the Nile Valley. Okay, we had 1023, y'all. We had the Temple of Khufu. We had the Temple of Khufu, sacred to the great god Horus. Now, this temple was built in the Ptolemaic era. Okay, that don't mean nothing, because even though the Ptolemies was on the throne, these were still African architects. Okay, these were still African architects. So this was built around the time of about 300 BC. Okay, right around the time of 300 BC was this temple built. You understand? I'll get the precise dates in there, but I know that was about the time of the rule of the Ptolemies, from about 300 to about 50 BC. And they were deposed. Okay, so it was between that time in which it was built. Okay, but these still African architects. And you see the Ark. When you motherfucker talking about the Ark of the Covenant. Okay? Talking about the Ark of the Covenant. And this is the Holy of Holies. And in that small chapel right there would have been a statue of Horus, okay, who this temple is sacred to. And when they had ceremonies, they would they would take the statue, put it in the ark, and they would even take the ark out and parade it in front of the people. You understand? They would take it on another boat and it would sail down the river, you understand, to certain points during the festivities, or during like the Ark of Amen would get on they would take the ark out of his Holy of Holies, put it on the Nile, sail it down to the Temple of Mu, and they would meet in holy matrimony. Oh, man. And that's called the Opit Festival. It was one of the biggest festivals in the ancient world. And you could imagine all our people from all over Egypt would come to this festival. You see what I'm saying? But that show you that our peoples have been on arks and ships. And so this is where they got the Ark of Covenant from. How the hell you got an ark and you a goat herder? You understand what I'm saying? You never heard of the damn Israelites on no damn water. Not one time. The one time you hear about Noah on the guy, you wonder, if y'all motherfuckers was herding goat, where the fuck did you get a knowledge to build a boat as big as y'all say it was? It wasn't as big as, a lot of people would think, but still, for somebody that's a goat herder, and then God say, build his ark, and how the fuck is you gonna build an ark and you a goat herder? You never heard not one of them damn prophets on no damn water. Not one. They say Jesus walked on water, but that's a myth. You understand what I'm talking about? We talking about reality. So this is where they get the ark from. This is where they get the Ark of the Covenant from, because the ark was a main piece of the temple of the Nile Valley. They need to stop it. So this is the inside of it. It's much more to the temple. I couldn't put it all in there, because, you know, I'd be here forever. If I did 5 slides for every one, that'd be 250 slides. So I couldn't do that. And so it was built, there it goes, it was built at 20, it started around 237 to 57 BC. So I was damn near right there. I said 300 to 30 BC. So even though I'm still there, you know what I'm saying? I'm still there. I ain't off by much. You feel me? I know about, now we talking about 24. I already did 25, which was the Ark of Khufu. So technically this is the last one, but I'm gonna add on to it because it's just too many more beautiful temples that I can't leave off the list. And so I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna tighten this up. You can always come back to this, family. This was a beautiful presentation for people that just want a short overview of the great wonders of Africa, the 25 wonders of Africa, and I'm gonna add on to it. I'm gonna add on to it so you could get one, you know, with all on power pack. I'm gonna type the information up for you, and you know, which it can't be too much more information. The rest of it you just have to do on your personal research. This is the Temple of Dendera, another temple to the great goddess, Hereru, the mother goddess, because, you know, we know the cow to be a nourisher. We know the cow to be a provider. And this is what the African woman was to us. And so you see the, you know, the cow, you can see they went up there and chiseled her face off, okay? To show you that these crazy ass crackers and these crazy ass Arabs cannot respect the woman as a god. Okay, so where they fall short even today, we never fell short. There never was a period in where we disrespected our woman, only when we came under the mental enslavement of white people in Arab. Only then have we fall to our lowest where we at today. Where we disrespecting and shit. Niggas disrespecting their woman. Niggas disrespecting the babies. Niggas doing all this crazy ass shit. Niggas got to wake up. Niggas got, and I don't see, and see, this is why Egypt is so more profound than it, because it showed our woman in such a megalithic veneration. You know what I'm saying? Like all shocking megaliths, showing that, you know, nowhere in the world where a woman was being honored and venerated in this way. Okay, we talking about in the BC era. These motherfuckers still try, and ain't gonna never, because it's in their spirit to be who they is. If you don't learn how to respect your fucking woman, that in your spirit from jump. It's in our DNA. But now we've been manipulated, and they in our blood, they in our food, they in our mind, they in every goddamn. That's why we got to separate. We got to separate in totality from these people in order to get back to here. Okay? I don't give a fuck with nobody. You must separate in totality to get back here. So this is the Temple of Dendera. This is, if I'm not mistaken, this is another Ptolemaic temple. And so even though we talking about the Ptolemies as the rulers, they not the architects. Okay, they not in the priesthood. This is the priesthood. Okay, they still, the African priest is still in charge. The African Masons is the only ones that's building these temples. So just because see, white people think they slick. They say, oh, these are the Ptolemaic temple. No, these ain't no Ptolemaic temple. They was built during the criminal rule of the Ptolemies. But there was no European that had nothing to do with the building of the temple. Okay, let's be clear about that. These is African architects. Okay, and what's so astounding is the layout of the constellations. You see, we always talking about the constellations, and you know, we use the Greco-Roman terminology. And what I was telling y'all about the holiday, that our family had already charted the stars. You understand what I'm saying? Hundreds of thousands of years ago. You understand what I'm saying? You talking about a time where the Romans and them still walking through garbage. You understand? They keep Rome was a village. It wasn't even a damn city. They keep talking about it was a village at this time. Okay, the Europeans were still savage, and they still savages today. You see what I'm saying? You let them glorify, and they got that one piece of shit ass Colosseum on the list, and the Colosseum cannot compete with not one monumental megalith with a temple that was on this list. Not one can it compete with. Not one of them damn structures can compete with nothing on this list. The simple fact that it's almost in perfect condition, and it's 3 and 4 and 5,000 years alone. Hands down, that right there show you unparalleled longevity. Unparalleled longevity. The Egyptians built to last for eternity. Eternity. Okay? They built for eternity. No other culture built on this level. And the reason, not just to build, is their spirituality. You see what I'm saying? These were their spiritual temples, and that alone, they wanted to honor the ancestors, honor the deity. You understand what I'm saying? So they because you got to really put your heart into something like that. Your heart and soul, for it to like anything you put your heart and soul, it's going to be your monumental medals of your life. When you put your heart and your soul and you really dig deep for it, those are going to be the trophies on the mantle of your life resume. You see what I'm saying? And you going to know it, because it's going to always be there to shine for you and honor you even after you leave here. Those are going to be, and that's what you put your heart and your spirit in. So you can see that our people were spiritually in love with the monument, not just that it's a megalithic structure just to be standing there, just a building. It's not that. It's not that. It's for the deities. It's for the ancestors. It's for the love of eternity, the love of and the love of divinity and righteousness. That's what it's about. Nobody else built with that type of spirit, and that's why it's just a monument to their act, and that's why that motherfucker on the ground. It wasn't built like that. You know what I'm saying? In the essence of our ancestors. So this is a nice, YouTube video for you to always go over. I'm gonna add on to it before I go to battle. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna put my third string on there too. It really ain't no third string. These are all first string. I don't have no third string, but I'm gonna add on to it. And then when I add my last, probably 10 monuments on it, I'm going to war with the rest of the world. We're gonna have the battle of the civilizations. And that's gonna be fun, family, because I'm gonna bring out, the best of the best. I ain't gonna hold it up. Whatever they got, I'm gonna put it out there. I'm gonna put it out there, family. But I'm gonna already tell you right now, I'm gonna damn near have to put two. They're gonna have to double, triple team Egypt just, on one damn monument. God damn. You know what I'm saying? I had to put 3 damn civilizations on one team, and damn near the top 5 gonna wipe their ass out with the top 5. And I'm loaded in cop. I'm loaded in cop with I got 25, and I'm going to battle with at least 35, 40. I'm gonna make sure I got my 35, 40 already loaded in cop. Okay? So that's gonna be this week. I got something special for y'all tomorrow, and I keep saying I was gonna go earlier today, but I had to get them all lined up. I'm not gonna go and cut myself short and cut yourself short. Okay, I got all the ones I wanted to get in there. They ranking. They most definitely greater than any of the wonders, so-called wonders, and them ain't even no goddamn wonders. I wonder how they got on the list. That's my wonder. 7 wonders of how they got on the list. That's the wondering. Ain't no wonder like it's all shocking, all, something that was shock to mine. The only thing I'm shocked about and wondering is how the fuck they got on the list. Okay? So let me come on up out of here. Let me come on up out of here. Okay. Come on up out of here. Okay. Damn. I didn't even know what time it was. So, family was in the house. Thank y'all for showing up. I know I said I was gonna be in here earlier, but like I say, I don't play no game. Because I had the concept in my head, but I had to go in Syria in which we gonna go to war, and I'm gonna put it out there. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping all the peoples of these cultures come and be a part. Come on in, and I know y'all ain't gonna let them come up in the chat. They scared. They probably wouldn't even come up in Sarasu because I already know my family out there. They seasoned. They ain't just seen. If you've been following General Seti, you ain't no beginner. You ain't no beginner. You know what I'm saying? Many of y'all is on, at least intermediate. You know what I'm saying? And that's saying a lot. Intermediate ain't just, you can't just play with no intermediate. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna call you a master because that's just that's just something that you can't just throw on nobody. You know what I'm saying? You can't just throw it. I know I didn't reach that because I can flow. I don't really, just like I went over, even when I just freestyle a date. I know when the errors was, so I know about where it was. I ain't gonna be too far off. You see what I'm saying? But I'm about to get all that together. By the end of the year, I swear to God, family, stay with me. If we gonna motherfucker said I'm gonna touch so many subjects, so many sciences, so many arts. They gonna be say, God damn it, this is the greatest age since the time of great Timbuktu, since the time of great Egypt, when we was dealing with the manuscripts. I'm gonna develop my family. That's my goal, to leave here, not to have, well, I'm the best motherfucker. And if I don't leave here and leave at least a million students ready to take my place, not one, a million that could take this information and continue on, then I fail. You know what I'm saying? My legacy gonna be in how many students I leave on this planet that's adept and ready to take this position. All right, family. I love you. I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you for being in the house. Hope I reached you. Hope I taught you some very valuable information today. How I do out there, y'all? Give me some love, goddamn it, before I get off of here. Give me some love, goddamn it, I said. Put some black powers, put some bombs on that motherfucker. I like when I see them bombs and lighting up and shit. Yeah. Put that fire in there too. Yeah. Put some ass pumping there. I love that shit. When that nigga put that gas in it. All right, family. I love y'all. I'll be black tomorrow. I'm gonna surprise y'all tomorrow. I got that fire, family. Don't you miss it. When you see it's gonna go up before the night is up, because I'm forewarning niggas. Tonight, I'm gonna put it up. Y'all niggas be in the house tomorrow. The general, me and Pharaoh, I'm gonna call Pharaoh tomorrow. I think I'm gonna try to have Pharaoh on tomorrow evening, but I'm going on earlier than that. So I might be on twice tomorrow. So y'all stay tuned. All right, this is the General Cyrus Seti saying, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast daily, liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.